So we've seen a spate of some very brazen cell phone robberies in New York City that's been attributed to a Venezuelan gang called Tren de Aragua, which has its origins at a prison outside of Caracas. A number of the gang members escaped in September 2023 when the Venezuelan government raided the prison. And a lot of them have come over within this surge of migrants from Venezuela.
Okay, so back to New York. We're going back to a story in New York City because these liberals, these left-wing activists, these people who want to flood the country with illegal immigrants have sacrificed the great city of New York on the altar of their left-wing objective of gaining power, gaining political power by taking control of the Latino vote, because their studies, all opposed historically over the last couple of decades, last 10 years especially, showed that most of these Latinos will vote 2 out of 3 for the Democrats. So that's their plan, and they're saying, damn the consequences. We know people are being sold off into slavery, people getting robbed. We got all types of crime going on in New York City. We got women up there selling bucks. And now we're going to talk about something the FBI just mentioned the other day: super gangs. They're talking about a wave of crime that's about to intensify in New York City. So we all know about MS-13. That's the one that has been the most feared Latino Latin American gang. The El Salvadorians created that a couple of decades ago. But now there's this other gang, this Venezuelan gang, that's building a reputation, quickly building a reputation in New York City and in the Miami area, and has the FBI very, very worried, and officials are trying to put a stop to it. But when they have liberal policies working against them, it becomes 10 times harder, 100 times harder. When you have Joe Biden not wanting to deport anybody, when you have Joe Biden not using ICE to enforce the deportation policies, when you have a wide open border, you're just letting these guys have free reign. So money and information is flowing back and forth from South America up to New York. Instructions are coming from gang leaders down there in Mexico with the cartels, from MS-13 leaders, and from the leaders of this Venezuelan gang. This gang is called Tren de Aragua. And they're just making all types of money, scamming people, beating up people, and even more stuff. Very, very violent stuff. So let's get into this article here, this Fox 5 article, where it talks about this gang, and we're going to get a little bit more information about what the hell has been going on in New York City. This city has been run into the ground. The NYPD expressed new concerns about wider criminal networks recruiting NYC migrants after violent incidents attributed to migrant shelter residents gained national attention in recent weeks. According to authorities, kingpins from the brutal Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua are orchestrating brazen moped robberies throughout the city. But I thought these people just coming here for a better life. I thought they were all asylum seekers and all that. We just had one of these guys in this gang, a cop down there in Miami. I showed the video at the beginning. I know I had to blur it out, but there was a 67-year-old man being dragged out in the street after they stole his cell phone, and we're going to get into the reasons why they're stealing phones up there. Tren de Aragua, which translates to Aragua train, began in 2012 among trade union members in Aragua province of Venezuela who used the county's rail system for crime, according to New York Post. And you know another thing that we were saying that the Venezuelan government, the feds down there in Venezuela, were emptying out their prisons, and a lot of these criminals, a lot of these gang members, they were saying the Americans are so damn stupid that they're going to take them on. We're going to ship these criminals that we have down here in Venezuela. We're going to ship them up there to America because they'll take them, because they are idiots. These Democrats are so power thirsty and so ignorant, thinking that, oh, all of these people are just poor, precious people who just need some assistance. When Trump said these guys are bringing drugs, they're bringing crime, they're rapists, he wasn't lying. And he clearly indicated he wasn't talking about all of them, but Trump was well aware of this type of stuff. These gangs down there in Latin America who do extremely vicious stuff. There was a S worker down there in Peru, I think, and a member of this gang shot her, or him. I think it was a trans ex worker or whatever. That's a different story. But they shot this person over 30 times. vicious, completely vicious. And a lot of these guys are young. You're talking about teenagers, 20-some years old. You have leaders, gang leaders who are 30. And after a couple of them beat up that cop, they just got let go scot-free because Fed Albert, Alvin Bragg, he wants to try to jail Trump over BS. But when you have vicious gang members running rampant in your city, in Manhattan, oh, you just let them go. They beat the crap out of cops, stumped them out in front of everybody in broad daylight. And Fed Albert, oh, he let them go. Because these guys are not interested in prosecuting actual criminals. They want to throw Trump in jail. But when you have vicious gang members, when you have crime running rampant in your city, oh, you cool with it. You okay with it because you rich. You got big money. You living in a secure neighborhood. You got private security and everything. But everyday Normans, you don't give a damn about them. As long as you're secure, you're paid. This is the normal state in New York City. When we have Eric Adams, we got DAs like Alvin Bragg, Fed Albert. They don't care because they don't have to deal with it on a day-to-day basis. Deputy Inspector Nicholas Fiore of the NYPD's Crime Against Persons Unit told Fox 5 New York that Tren de Aragua's savage, bloody crimes are similar to MS-13, the violent street gang responsible for dozens of murders throughout the NYC area. And like I said, the FBI is saying that they have information that these two gangs are starting to work together. They're calling it a super gang. You have two of the most vicious gangs on the planet. And they are building up a very fortified network in New York because these idiot Democrats are giving them asylum. In a term that I haven't mentioned much, but a lot of other people who talk about this have military-age men. They're letting in all these military-age men. A lot of times you look at these videos, you just see a whole bunch of young men. Now, there may not be a direct war where a country down there is going to build a secret army in the country. But what you will have with these military-age men is crime infestation. These guys are being recruited. They are sending messages to guys in these tents, in these shelters, in these hotels in New York City that the New York City taxpayers pay for. They are recruiting these migrants. They're saying, look, we need you to hit a lick over here. We need you to go stunt this guy out, take his phone, go get that moped over there because New York giving you a little bit of money and all that, but you don't have a visa, you don't have a work permit. So you had a family back home in Venezuela, back home wherever. We need you to hit a lick and we're going to give you a couple of $100 and you can send it back home to your family. And these guys are doing it. A lot of them are doing it. These gangs are growing, fortifying their position and gaining power. And these Democrats are incentivizing more and more to come. This city is on the edge of oblivion. You got the police, the NYPD is trying to fight them with one hand tied behind their back. How the hell are you going to fight them when the mayor is funding them? I just did a video yesterday about the mayor talking about he's about to give them debit cards up to $1,000, and I said quickly that the cartels are going to snatch those debit cards. You can't give these migrants cash or cards where they can go buy stuff because what you're going to do is fund these gangs. You're going to fund the cartels. But idiots like Eric Adams can't see that. He wants to virtue signal. I'm a good person. I care about these migrants. I want to feed the children. What an idiot, man. We were working off intelligence that there was an MS-13 like crew that was coming to America and committing these crimes, Fiore said. He said that Tren de Aragua leaders made their way across the border in New York last December and are using WhatsApp to recruit NYC migrants. Those WhatsApp messages go to shelters all over the city, Fiore said. Imagine making a couple $100 if you're driving a scooter. If you're stealing phones, you could be getting $300 to $600 per phone. So you go beat up an old man, you see an old lady, she's 60 years old walking down the street trying to get to the pharmacy, get to the grocery store, mind her own business. You got some 25-year-old criminal who's going to go jack her because he's trying to get that $300 to $600. And they expect the NYPD to try to fight this while the mayor and the city leadership is funding these people. And while the DA is refusing to keep these people in jail. Fiore said the NYPD recorded a tremendous surge in moped robberies that they believe are orchestrated by Tren de Aragua recruits. There are orders coming from Colombia and from Venezuela. They moved to Miami and then to New York, Fiore said. According to Fiora, NYPD reported 160 moped robbery patterns from April 2023 to January 2024 compared to 62 from April 22 to January 2023. He said one robbery pattern could include up to 20 crimes. Here's how they work. One or two thieves on a moped will jump onto the sidewalk and yank cell phones, jewelry, and other valuables from victims' hands. So they just straight up jacking people, armed robbery. Recently, a 62-year-old woman in Brooklyn was dragged down the sidewalk during a robbery. Wow. Wow. And Biden and them are okay with these people coming to the country because they have a large agenda. Remember, the DNC has a larger agenda. They know that they're letting in all types of vicious criminals. This is happening to this old lady. It's not happening to them. It's not happening to the rich Democrat elite. I said before also, if something like this happened to one of the rich Democrats, because Democrats are the party of the rich, if something like this happened to them, oh, it'd be hell to pay. Because like I said, you have a bunch of rich Democrats living on Martha's Vineyard, Obama's island over there with his gigantic mansion. You have a bunch of rich liberals. They sent a handful of these illegal immigrants to that island, and within an hour, they called the National Guard to get those people out of there. Only 50 of them. But you have hundreds of thousands of them in New York, Chicago, Denver, Boston, all over the place, where everyday Normans have to deal with them, where 60-some-year-old ladies are being dragged, where cops in Miami are being... But the Democrats are okay with that because these are just everyday Normans. That has nothing to do with them. They need these Latinos in because they need the Latino vote. And, of course, they have a lot of white guilt and they hate themselves. So these white liberals want to darken the country. They want to let in quote unquote brown people. I don't know when the hell they started calling these people brown people, but they want to let in more brown people, quote unquote. Cell phones are a hot commodity in these robberies as crooks have found ways to use smartphones to hack into victims' bank accounts. There was a tech guy in the Bronx that was able to hack into the phone in less than 3 minutes and empty your bank accounts. That money got sent to two separate places from Miami to Texas, Fiora said. Yeah, they getting paid big time. They're making a whole lot of money. And like I said, the operation is in part being funded by Democrats. It's being funded by Joe Biden, allowing these people in, using Border Patrol to just write up asylum paperwork instead of getting these people the hell out of here, wasting money on ICE, not utilizing them, and by idiots like Eric Adams funding these people, giving them places to stay, spending millions of dollars on food and shelter, luxury hotels and all of that, instead of getting these people the hell out of there. Make these people suffer and get them the hell out of New York City. Oh, what about the kids? We care about the kids. These people are using the kids as a sympathy weapon. Oh, we got kids. You can't deport us. You can't leave us out destitute in the snow. We got kids. Oh, man, you're right. We got to give you money. We got to give you taxpayer money. You've been played, man. These gang members, these vicious criminals know the game. You think these people are stupid? They see how soft y'all are on crime and how easily that they can sucker y'all for money. How they can sucker y'all into looking the other way on crime because you have some type of sympathy because these poor migrants come from these vicious countries. Well, who the hell do you think made these countries so violent and vicious? The people here in New York. They're the ones who made Venezuela and these other countries so vicious. And the government's down there like, look, let's send them to America because these people are idiots. These Americans are going to take care of them. You can break it to one cell phone and you can empty somebody's life savings, $10,000, $15,000, $20,000. You can then take that phone and sell it for $1,000 or $1,500, Fiora said. None of the perps arrested for these crimes admitted to being in the gang, but it's not out of the picture, Fiora said. The NYPD also stressed that most of the migrants coming to the city are not committing crimes. See, they always got to put it in as disclaimer. But everybody's not a criminal. Well, we know that. That's how society works in general. No matter what the population is or what race, ethnic background the population is, you always have a handful of hoodlums who are doing stuff like this. But guess what? When you let in hundreds of thousands of them, you're going to get a whole lot of these people. And you're going to see that these cartels, these gang members, MS-13, Tren de Aragua, they're going to see massive loopholes, flaws in your systems that they can exploit to get paid. And that's exactly what they're doing. This is a small group that is gradually growing and doing a lot of damage. Damn shame, boy. It is a goddamn shame. Shame on Eric Adams. Shame on New York and the people who continue to vote for Joe Biden, support Democrats. If you're in New York City and voting for Joe Biden, supporting Eric Adams, justifying what they're doing, You're okay with Fat Albert letting these criminals out of jail after they stumped out cops? Shame. Let me know what you guys think. Leave me your thoughts below. Share the video. Thanks for watching.